I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for over a decade, and in that time I've made plenty of mistakes behind the DM screen. But here's the thing, failure is actually a superpower. Every mistake teaches you something, and over the years those lessons have made my games a lot better. So today I'm sharing 10 DM mistakes I've made so you don't have to spend years learning them the hard way. If you're a new DM, this might save you a lot of trial and error, and if you're a veteran, you'll probably recognize a few of these. So let's start with number one. Number one, player inventories. Early on, I made the mistake of controlling or limiting my players' inventories. They'll pick their class, they'll pick their race, and then when it comes time to play, their characters had nothing useful. This kills creativity and fun. You want your players to have options, because the more tools they have, the more ideas they can bring to the table, and the more opportunities for you as a DM can work with. Stuff like foldable 10-foot ladders, 50 feet of hempen rope, grappling hooks, twine, or even a simple fuse. These are small things that can open huge possibilities. Don't deprive them of them. Think of it this way, the more random junk your players carry, the more hilarious chaos you get to weave into your story. Number two, don't write the story before your player gives you theirs. I've made the mistake before. I had a great story mapped out, ready to go, but it didn't make any sense for my players. Their characters, their motivations, their goals, and their quirks just simply didn't fit. Here's the trick, don't create your story until your players give you their backstories. Their histories are threads. Each one is a thread you can weave into a bigger tapestry of your campaign. And you don't have to force it. There's no shame if you don't use everything, but the more you do use to connect your story to their backstories, the more invested your players become. They start seeing their choices and histories shaping the world, not just following it. Think of it like mythologies. Zeus didn't fight monsters for fun. Every hero has a story, and every story is connected. Your players are your heroes, so don't waste their threads. Number three, keep your players invested. Don't make them switch characters constantly. I've done this a lot at the start of my DMing journey. Players create characters, put thought into their backstories and motivations, and then you push them to make a new one too soon. The problem, investment drops fast. Why should a player care about Dave the Barbarian if in a session or two he's playing someone completely different? Let your players stick with a character until either the character's story arc naturally ends, they retire, they die, or they generally want to try something new. This way their choices feel meaningful, their risks feel real, and their connection to the world grows. Switching characters too soon is like hitting Control Z on all their emotional work, and nobody likes that. Tip number four, powerful items can be fun, but don't go overboard. I've made this mistake before. I handed a player a super powerful item without thinking through the consequences. Next thing I know, that player is wiping out everything I throw at them, and the rest of the party feels useless. It's not fun. Here's the fix, limit powerful items, give them a few charges, specific purpose, or one-use mechanics, like the classic chime of opening. Also plan your loot early. Before level 5, focus on mostly common, uncommon items. A few rare items sprinkle in after level 5. This way your players still feel powerful at the right moments and everyone gets to contribute without breaking the game. Think of it like seasoning, a little power goes a long way, too much and the stew is ruined. Number 5, don't take the light away from your players. Here's a mistake I've seen and made a lot. You have an NPC in combat and you run them like a player. You control both the NPC and the enemies. So their clash drags on, basically bot combat. Players start feeling sidelined, their choices feel less impactful. Instead, describe the NPC's actions quickly and then get back to the players. For example, Dan the barman is quickly tackled by the beast. The owlbear lifts its claw ready to slice and now it's your turn, what do you do? The players get the spotlight, the story moves forward, and the combat stays exciting. Exceptions, if it's a beloved NPC against the BBEG and the players care about them, you can run them, but map out their moves ahead of time so it's quick and doesn't steal players' moments. Remember, players are the heroes, NPCs are the supporting cast, not co-stars, most of the time. Number 6, never tell your players what could have happened, what's about to happen, or drop subtle spoilers. As the DM, you know everything, the secrets, the twists, the clues, but your players don't. And that mystery is where the magic lives. One mistake I made early on was giving information away too soon. Maybe I hint at something that the players hadn't discovered yet, or casually mention what could have happened if they made a different choice. The problem, it kills the suspense. Players love trying to figure things out. They build theories in their heads about what's going on in the world. And when they finally discover the truth themselves, that's when those epic moments happen. So here's the trick. Know exactly what the players know and mentally cross off everything else. If they haven't discovered it yet, keep it locked away. Let them uncover the secrets themselves, because nothing beats the moment a player shouts, "Wait, I knew it!" Number 7, sometimes the best thing a DM can do is shut up. When your players start role-playing with each other, talking, planning, arguing, or just really staying in character, that's your moment to lean back and enjoy it. Think of it as a mini break. You're almost like the audience, watching the story unfold naturally. And honestly, that's the sweet spot for any DM. Every time you run a session, you really want to hit that moment. Only jump in if you need to enhance the roleplay. Maybe an NPC backs up something a player says or reacts to a conversation. Otherwise, let the players run with it. The longer the players roleplay with each other, the richer the story becomes. And if things go a little quiet, don't panic. Silence isn't always bad. Sometimes players are thinking, planning, or just sitting in the moment. So remember, choose your moments as a DM, and sometimes the best storytelling move you can make is saying nothing at all. Number 8, don't try to build the entire world before session 1. When you're creating a campaign, it's really easy to get lost in world building. Gods, ancient history, rivers, continents, maps and lore. Suddenly you're writing an encyclopedia before the first dice roll. I've done it. I've built huge worlds, dozens of NPCs, deep histories, and at the end of the day, the players didn't really care. World building is amazing, and I love doing it, but you shouldn't assume your players will care about every detail the way you do. Players care about things that affect their characters or the party as a whole. That's where the story should start, through their eyes. Instead of giving them a history lecture about your world, let them discover those pieces naturally through the adventure. Your world might have 5,000 years of history, but your players just want to know why the tavern is on fire. Number 9, don't be afraid to reuse your material. If you run games for multiple groups, you already have something incredibly valuable. Play-tested content. You know what worked. You know what was fun, you know what dragged on too long. That's one of the reasons I love homebrew campaigns. When you create your own story, it becomes a part of you. It's easier to remember because you're the one who built it. And once players experience it, you start to notice all the little details. What made people laugh, what surprised them, and what needed tweaking. So when you run a new group, don't start from scratch. Revisit those adventures, revise them, improve the hooks, tighten the pacing, and turn them into something even better. You can even immortalize past parties in your world. Maybe the previous group became legends, statues in the city square, stories told in taverns, or heroes from an earlier age. It's a great way to reuse great content and secretly remind your new players that other heroes came before them. And lastly, number 10, don't plan the ending of your story. When you build your campaign using your players' backstories, you start to see their story arcs forming. You have their personal stories and the main story weaving together. But here's the mistake many DMs make: they plan the ending too early. It's fine to imagine possibilities. Maybe there's an epic battle on a frozen lake, the orc chief riding a giant polar bear. That's a great inspiration, but just don't lock it in. Because the truth is, the story will change. Your players' decisions will reshape everything. Their choices, their risks, and their crazy ideas. That's what drives the story forward, so don't railroad them, don't fight their ideas. If they want to try something bold, let them try it. And if what they're about to do might get their character killed, that's okay too. Just give them a fair warning first. The best endings in D&D aren't written by the DM. They're created by the players. So those are 10 of my biggest DM mistakes after more than a decade behind the screen. I failed plenty of times, but every failure taught me something that made my games better. If you're a new DM, hopefully these save you a few years of trial and error, and if you're a veteran DM, you've probably made a few of these mistakes too. At the end of the day, being a dungeon master isn't about being perfect, it's about learning, adapting, and creating great stories with your players. And sometimes the best stories come from the mistakes we make along the way. If you enjoyed this or learned something from my failures, give the video a like and subscribe to The Honest DM for more DM stories, tips, and chaos from behind the screen.